Imagine this. 2017. Ain Shams, Cairo. It's that deep quiet just before dawn, The air is still. Maybe you hear the distant call to prayer fading.
Right, that specific stillness.
Inside a ground floor apartment, it's dark. Just a sliver of dawn trying to get in. And Heba's young daughter, she stirs. Something's wrong. It's too quiet, maybe. Her mother isn't moving around like usual.
The child's intuition, something feels off.
She calls out, nothing. So she gets up, probably a bit scared, goes to her mother's room, and then it's just horrific. Her mother, Heba, who used a wheelchair, is on the floor, motionless. Her chair's tipped over beside her, and there's blood everywhere.
Terrible, just terrible to imagine.
The little girl screams, a sound that just rips through the building, brings neighbors running, family chaos, terror, confusion. An ambulance comes, sirens wailing, but it's way too late. He's just gone.
And the scene itself held a clue, didn't it? A chilling one.
Exactly. Forensics are there, looking everywhere, and they notice something deeply disturbing. No signs of a struggle. Now remember, Heba was paralyzed in her legs. How could there be no struggle?
It raises immediate, horrifying questions. Who could do this? And why?
Okay, let's unpack this. A crime scene with no forced entry, apparently no struggle from the victim, but a life violently, brutally taken. The community, understandably, is in shock. No obvious suspects, just questions hanging in the air. But the answer, the key to unlocking it all, it would come from someone totally unexpected.
Heba's own young son, Adam.
That's right. His testimony would blow this case wide open.
What's truly striking about this tragedy, I think, is how often the most harrowing realities are hidden just beneath the surface of what looks like, well, a normal life.
Yeah.
To really grasp this brutal ending, we have to peel back those layers, follow the threads way back, right to the beginning of a very, very complex relationship.
So today, we're doing a deep dive into that 11-year history between Heba and a man named Osama. We're going to uncover the hidden motives, the dark manipulations, the really shocking events that turned what some saw as a love story into this awful tale of obsession, greed, and ultimately murder.
To understand the end, you have to go back to the beginning, 2006, still in Ain Shams.
Right, and this is where we meet Osama. He's 27, works as an aluminum technician. People described him as, well, carefree, maybe a bit reckless with money, always chasing some get-rich-quick scheme that never really panned out.
And his family wasn't wealthy, modest means. So for him, marriage, settling down, it was a big financial challenge. He couldn't really afford it on his own.
But then there was Heba, his neighbor. Beautiful, apparently, but with a physical disability, paralysis in her legs. From the outside, though, people saw a real connection, like a genuine love story unfolding.
That's what many witnesses described, yeah. A powerful bond. But beneath that surface.
Yeah, Osama's family, they had doubts, big doubts. It wasn't just about Heba's disability, though that might have been part of it for some. They knew Osama. They suspected his feelings maybe weren't entirely sincere.
And they were right to be suspicious. It tragically became clear later that Osama's motives were, well, calculated. He saw Heba, yes, but he also saw, let's be blunt, financial opportunity tied to her specific situation.
His father, especially, seemed wary. He apparently knew his son wouldn't make a big life choice like marriage purely out of innocent love. He sensed something else driving him.
Something more mercenary.
And Heba, she wasn't just sitting back. She was incredibly resourceful. The picture we get is of someone really pragmatic, smart about her situation. Osama himself apparently called it her treasure.
What exactly was this treasure?
Okay, so she had these special licenses because of her disability that let her buy certain cars much cheaper than usual, cars for the disabled. She'd buy them, then resell them for a really significant profit. We're talking 5,000, maybe 10,000 Egyptian pounds back in 2006. That was serious money then.
Wow, so she was quite entrepreneurial.
Totally. And she also knew how to utilize charity benefits available to her. These are her secrets, her ways of managing. And she trusted Osama completely, told him everything, because she believed he loved her.
Given what we know about Osama's financial irresponsibility, how much do you think that treasure, as he called it, really fueled his pursuit of her, beyond any, actual affection?
That's the heartbreaking question, isn't it? And the evidence strongly suggests it was a huge factor, maybe the main factor. His family's doubts weren't just random. They likely saw him eyeing this opportunity.
So her strength, her resourcefulness, kind of inadvertently made her a target for his ambition.
Seemed like it. So anyway, they get engaged. 6 months later, despite his family's objections, Osama persists, and they get married in 2006. Heba is apparently overjoyed, really believing in his love. They move into a ground floor apartment, practical for her wheelchair.
But the dream didn't last long.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Within that first year, she starts to see it. Osama wants the money, sure, but he hates the work part. He's constantly trying to figure out ways to, well, exploit her disability, her connections for cash.
And what's really astonishing, or maybe deeply sad, is how she initially reacted to this. How did she rationalize it? Seeing it as him helping her work, that seems like a huge leap.
It really does. Maybe it speaks to how much she wanted that family life, or perhaps she started believing his version of things. She was a pragmatist, a survivor. Maybe she saw it as a kind of twisted partnership that let them build a life together.
Whatever the reason, that initial acceptance, it was dangerous. It paved the way for his dependence to just grow and grow.
Right. And over the next 5 years, they have children. Their son, Adam, then 2 daughters. Life goes on with all the usual ups and downs, but this one issue just gets bigger and darker. Osama is completely, 100% financially dependent on Heba. His own job, pretty much gone. She's the breadwinner.
And that kind of dynamic, it's rarely sustainable without resentment building up.
Exactly. It finally explodes in 2011. Heba's had enough. Huge argument. And Osama, maybe in a rage, maybe strategically, he divorces her. First time.
Just like that.
She's heartbroken, can't believe it, packs up, goes back to her parents.
But Osama realizes pretty quickly what he's done. He hasn't just lost a wife. He's lost his meal ticket. He knows she can manage fine without him.
So he goes crawling back. Apologies, promises to change, the whole routine. Heba's dad gets involved. And Heba, still in love, wanting her family back, she agrees. They move back into the apartment.
That the change doesn't stick.
Not even close. 3 months later, bang! Another massive fight, another divorce. The second one.
Okay, so this is becoming a pattern.
A destructive one. This time, her parents are firmer. They make Osama move out, send him to his mother's place, which is conveniently just down the street.
And again, reality hits Osama. He's broke. So back he comes. More remorse, more promises.
But Heba's father lays down the law this time. He gives him a very serious warning. Look, under religious law, a third divorce is it. It's irreversible. No going back unless she marries someone else, consummates it, then divorces him. The very specific process.
Right, the Talil marriage, a significant barrier.
Osama promises, I'll uphold my home, I'll be responsible. And incredibly, they reconcile again.
It's hard to imagine the emotional toll on Heba through all this.
Unthinkable. And then things take an even darker, more violent turn. Early 2012.
What happened?
Osama gets into a fight with his sister's husband. Apparently, the brother-in-law hit his sister. Osama steps in. Things escalate violently, and Osama kills him.
Kills him. Good grief. That changes everything.
Massively. But Heba, again, steps up. She uses her intelligence, her resourcefulness. She finds a good lawyer. And they manage to use some kind of official document, something called child treatment certificate.
Yes. That certificate suggested, legally speaking, that maybe he had some kind of diminished responsibility for his actions, like he couldn't fully control himself.
Exactly. And because of that, the lawyer gets him a much lighter sentence than you'd expect for killing someone.
How light?
5 years. For accidental killing, they called it.
5 years. For taking a life. Did that experience, getting a relatively light sentence, maybe give Osama a sense that he could somehow beat the system?
Absolutely. That's a critical point. That certificate, that sentence.
Okay.
It wasn't just luck. It seems to have taught him something dangerous. That he could navigate serious trouble, maybe escape the full consequences. It tragically planted a seed, this belief he could maybe game the system again later. We'll see that come back.
A chilling thought. And while he's inside?
Heba holds everything together. Manages the house, raises the kids, visits him faithfully in prison, waiting for him. Still hoping, it seems, that prison would change him.
That 5 years would somehow reset everything.
5 long years pass. It's 2017. Osama gets released. The kids are ecstatic, of course.
Yeah.
And Heba welcomes him back, full of hope. Maybe this time, he'd be the husband and father she wanted.
It was a false hope, wasn't it?
Utterly devastatingly false. He hadn't changed one bit. Just a few months after he's back.
Right.
Another huge fight. And this time, Osama does it. The third divorce.
The final one. Irreversible under the law they followed.
Heba is crushed, naturally. But this time, something's different in her. She's resolute. It's over. Really, truly over.
But Osama couldn't accept that, could he?
No way. About a week later, he goes to Heba's father, trying to argue the third divorce shouldn't count. I was emotional. I wasn't thinking straight.
But the father wasn't having it.
No. He calls a sheikh, an expert from Dar al-Ifta, the religious authority, right then and there, confirms it. Final. Absolutely final.
And the sheikh would have reiterated the only path back, the Talil marriage. She marries another man fully and naturally, then divorces him, and crucially, it can't be some prearranged sham.
Right. Which leads Osama to cook up this truly vile plan. He's driven by what? Possessiveness,
Yeah.
control, and definitely about getting access to Heba's money again.
What was the plan?
He goes to his friend, Hussein, a carpenter, and he proposes that Hussein marry Heba, just temporarily, critically, without consummating the marriage. Then divorce her, like a loophole, so Osama can then swoop back in and remarry her.
A clear manipulation of the religious requirement, and the friend agreed.
Astonishingly, yes. Hussein just went along with it, apparently out of friendship.
Unbelievable.
So Osama takes this solution back to Heba and her father. Her dad is appalled, obviously. Explains this is forbidden, it's making a mockery of the rules. He even calls Dar al-Ifta again to confirm. No prior agreement allowed, and it must be a complete natural marriage.
So laying out the non-negotiable terms.
And here's where it gets truly, profoundly disturbing. Osama pauses for a moment, and then he says, okay. He accepts the conditions, even the consummation part. He agrees that his friend Hussein should marry Heba, sleep with her, then divorce her, all so Osama can get her back.
Wait, he actually agreed to that, to his friend consummating a marriage with Heba.
He did. How must Heba have felt hearing that? Such utter disregard for her dignity, her feelings, her religious beliefs, just thrown away.
It must have been the ultimate shock, the final proof, if any more were needed, that this wasn't about love. It was purely about control and her money. He'd sacrifice anything, even her fundamental dignity, to get that back.
Absolutely. She and her father flatly rejected this disgusting scheme. Heba tells him, look, we'll be civil for the kids, but I am not remarrying you or anyone else for that matter.
Yeah.
Osama leaves furious, probably humiliated, definitely confused.
And after that confrontation...
Months pass. Heba actually starts finding some peace. The chaos is gone. But Osama, he's stewing, anxious, obsessed. What's Heba thinking? What's she planning? Is she going to move on? Remarry someone else?
He couldn't stand the thought of her being independent, especially financially independent, without him.
Seems like it. He keeps in touch with the kids, especially Adam, the eldest, who sometimes stays over at Osama's mother's house. Then the crucial deadline passes. 3 months after the final divorce. Legally, religiously, Heba is now completely free to remarry if she chooses.
And that freedom was intolerable to Osama. The clock ticking just amplified his anxiety, his possessiveness.
Precisely. Which brings us right back, full circle, to that pre-dawn quiet in 2017, the ground floor apartment, easy access through the window.
Right. And the initial investigation finds the stab wounds, but no noise, no struggle reported. Osama shows up, plays the shock ex-husband. Given their history and his alibi being at his mom's house, maybe he thought he'd be overlooked.
Could have easily happened. But then the turning point, the moment everything shifted.
Adam, their son.
He has to speak to the investigators. A young boy. What could he possibly know?
But he knew something vital, something horrifying.
He tells them about a conversation he overheard, just days before the murder. He was staying at his grandmother's, Osama's mother's house, and he heard Osama talking to his own mother.
What did he hear?
He heard Osama say he couldn't live without Heba, and that if she dared to remarry after her waiting period was up, he must kill her.
Chilling. He actually said it.
And get this, he specifically mentioned that child treatment certificate again, the one for the previous killing. He apparently believed it would protect him, get him a lighter sentence, just like before. His mother tried to talk him out of it, but he was set on it.
Wow. So that previous lenient sentence wasn't just a factor, it was part of his actual plan. He thought he had a get-out-of-jail-free card.
I think that's exactly what it looks like. Adam's testimony wasn't just about motive. It revealed Osama's warped thinking. That certificate had emboldened him, convinced him he could literally get away with murder.
It changes everything, absolutely everything.
The investigators, armed with this, they go back. They search the area around the apartment much more closely. And behind an electricity box nearby, they find a knife.
The murder weapon.
Blood analysis confirms it's Heba's blood. Fingerprints on the handle. They match Osama's.
The physical evidence locking it down.
So they confront Osama with Adam's statement, with the knife, the blood, the prints. At first, he denies it all, sticks to his story. But the evidence is overwhelming. The pressure mounts. And finally, he breaks. He confesses.
And the motive he gave?
Just pure pathological possessiveness, twisted logic. He couldn't stand the thought of anyone else benefiting from Heba's money, from her independence. If he couldn't have her and her resources, nobody could.
So how did he describe the act itself?
He admitted it. Late that night, knowing they all slept early in that simple apartment, he slipped in through the window. Heba was actually still awake. She saw him. And apparently she just held her breath.
Held her breath. In fear or resignation.
We can only guess. Maybe both. A final chilling moment. He then suffocated her. And then stabbed her. Multiple times. Until she was dead.
Just brutal calculation.
Afterwards, he climbed back out the window, tossed the knife behind the electricity box, walked back to his mother's house down the street, and went to sleep. Like nothing happened. Utterly unconcerned.
The callousness is
Yeah.
breathtaking.
After all the investigations, the trial, Osama was found guilty. He was sentenced to death.
Osama's case really throws a harsh light on a specific kind of vulnerability, doesn't it? How someone's unique strength like Heba's incredible ability to turn her disability into financial independence can become the very thing an abuser fixates on controlling.
Right, it wasn't just general greed, it was targeted. Her specific way of making money, her resourcefulness, became the focus of his obsession and control.
Especially when tangled up with certain cultural views on relationships, money, and perhaps a man's role, her very self-reliance became the threat he needed to eliminate.
So for you listening, this deep dive isn't just about the danger of trusting the wrong person, though it's certainly that.
Sure.
It's a stark look at how economic dependence, specific legal loopholes or perceived loopholes like that certificate and religious rules can be twisted and weaponized within a family. Think about it. Heba was smart, resourceful, pragmatic. She built a life despite huge challenges. She even saw her situation as an investment. But her one big miscalculation was the man she loved. Undone by the father of her children precisely because he valued her ability to provide, not her as a human being.
It forces you to consider, are we always aware of the value others might place on us, not for who we are, but for what we have or what we can do, and how that perception can become dangerous?
It's a deeply sobering thought. The real disability here wasn't Heba's physical condition at all. It was Osama's. His profound moral failure, his utter inability to value another person's life over his own twisted self-interest and entitlement.
Which leaves us with a difficult question.
Consider how society, laws, personal situations, how easily they can be exploited, how desperation mixed with that toxic sense of entitlement can curdle into the ultimate betrayal. What really protects someone when that kind of darkness is hiding in plain sight within the very heart of a family, turning independence itself into a motive for murder?